The White House is withdrawing the nomination of David Chipman to lead the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms after a history of controversial comments regarding gun owners came to light. Republicans have staunchly opposed the nomination of Chipman, who also failed to gain widespread support from fellow Democrats. Chipman's longstanding history as an anti-Second Amendment activist wasn't the only concern. The former nominee also reportedly made racist comments while employed at the ATF. Cam Edwards, editor at bearingarms.com, joins us to discuss the big win for the Second Amendment and a crushing loss, yet another one, for Joe Biden's regulatory state. Good to see you, Cam.
Hey, Buck. Thanks so much for the invite.
So what happened here? I mean, I remember they were saying, oh, Chipman will be great to lead the ATF. Not so much. Well, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I think this nomination was troubled from the get-go. I think it was a mistake to nominate a gun control activist, somebody who spent most of the past decade in the employ of Michael Bloomberg and Mayors Against Illegal Guns and Gabrielle Giffords at Giffords. This was a bad idea to begin with, but the gun control lobby and the Biden administration are hell-bent on going after our right to keep and bear arms, and they saw no downside in trying to install a committed gun control activist in charge of the ATF. They didn't understand that gun owners were not going to tolerate this. We were not going to put up with it. We were going to speak up. We were going to use our First Amendment rights to defend our Second Amendment rights. And that's why you saw red state Democrats like Joe Manchin and John Tester and independents like Angus King of Maine refused to sign off on this decision. They refused to confirm David Chipman because they knew that it would be the end of their political careers. And frankly, I got to say, I think it would be damaging to the Democratic Party in these red states if they were to back David Chipman. So I think these Democrat senators who said no made the smart move, not only for our Constitution's sake, but, just from a political standpoint as well.
There's also this that came to light. Multiple ATF sources back up the existence of a complaint alleging that President Biden's nominee, David Chipman, made racist comments during his previous stint at the agency. The quote was that he made some comments he was surprised by the number of African Americans who made it onto a specific promotional list. His insinuation was that they had to have cheated, which is kind of despicable. Somebody would have had to file a complaint against him if he were a supervisor making those statements. The current ATF official said the allegation ended his time in Detroit. He left Detroit because of that. So, I mean, it seems like that Chipman had a bad reputation for a number of reasons, but he almost got through all the way anyway because, I mean, the Biden administration, let's be honest, Cam, they want an anti-gun activist to be running the ATF in a law enforcement role, right? I mean, this is kind of it would have been a dream come true for them from that perspective.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's why they were willing to fight. I think it's why they were willing to hold on to that nomination despite, the protests from red state Democrats. But I'm glad that you highlighted Stephen Gutowski's reporting, Buck, because he has really done some great work in talking to ATF agents, people who knew David Chipman, who worked with David Chipman. And this is something that the mainstream media really didn't want to touch on. We were lucky if they actually mentioned David Chipman's time as a gun control activist, much less getting into the allegations of these racist remarks that Chipman allegedly made when he was in the Detroit ATF field office. The media was carrying the water for the Biden administration on this, which I think makes it even more remarkable that gun owners and Second Amendment supporters were ultimately able to squash this nomination and force Joe Biden to withdraw Chipman's name.
On his Facebook in August of 2019, Chipman offered his second hardline opinion while sharing a commercial for an AR-15, slamming it as appealing to individuals who could commit mass shootings. He wrote, "When you advertise your rifle as being capable of unleashing an orchestra of metal and hellfire, your marketing appears to target mass shooters. See the promo ad for the AR-15 used in Dayton, made in Kentucky." I mean, this guy really hates guns, doesn't he, Kim?
He really does. But, there's also something really important about what he said. He mentioned the marketing of that firearm. And this is a strategy that gun control activists are going to pursue, even without David Chipman as the top dog of the ATF. They're suing gun makers. The government of Mexico, for instance, just a few weeks ago, sued a number of U.S. gun makers in federal court, alleging that the marketing material used by these gun makers is somehow fueling violence. And the reason why they're making this argument is because a federal judge has declared that the Protection of Lawful Commerce and Arms Act does not preclude lawsuits based on fraudulent marketing claims. And so that's sort of this loophole that gun control activists have discovered. David Chipman, I guess he was prescient because he was talking about it 2 years ago. But this is the exact same strategy that the gun control lobby is going to be using in courts across the country.